Hey everyone, get ready, because Predator, Badlands is here, and it completely changes the game. This isn't just another hunt. It's a story of survival, rejection, and finding family in the most dangerous place in the galaxy. The movie kicks off, not on Earth, but on the Yautja homeworld, also known as Yautja Prime, and we are immediately introduced to our main character, a young predator named Dek. But here's the twist. Dek is considered a runt, the weakest link in his aggressive, status-obsessed clan. We see right away the brutal culture of the Yautja. Dek's father, the clan leader, sees his own son as an embarrassment, a defect that needs to be removed. In a heartbreaking opening scene, Dek is about to be executed by his father to cull the weak. This is our first big analysis point for the review. By making the predator the protagonist, the movie gives the Yautja a human element we've never seen. We feel Dek's sadness, his rage, and his desperate need to prove himself. It's less about the hunt, and more about a child trying to earn a father's love. This is why the movie works. Dek's older brother, Quay, helps him escape. In a truly gut-wrenching moment, Quay sacrifices himself and is decapitated by their own father. Also, Dek can get away. Dek is forced to watch this horror as he flees to a distant, lethal planet called Jenna, the Badlands. Dek's mission is simple, but insane. To hunt the Kalisk, a legendary, supposedly unkillable monster on Jenna, and bring back its head to redeem his honor. It's a suicide mission, but Dek has nothing left to lose. He is literally crash landing on the death planet to face a monster, just to escape the monster of his father's expectations. So, Dek is alone on Jenna. It's a world covered in razor-sharp grass and terrifying creatures. How long does the runt last? And who does he meet that changes everything? Dek crash lands hard on Jenna. He's alive, but his ship is destroyed, and his predator gear is damaged. He's stranded and alone. We quickly see why this place is called the Death Planet. The ground itself is trying to kill him. It's not a cozy jungle. It's a hostile wasteland with razor blade grass that cuts deep, and poisonous plants everywhere. Dek the warrior is now a simple survivalist. This is a crucial early section of the movie. Instead of a hunter with unlimited resources, we see Dek being humbled. He has to use his instincts to survive the planet's natural hazards, things like intense heat, strange chemicals, and navigating confusing canyons. Dek's first fights aren't against a human army. They are against the local wildlife. Imagine strange, spiny beasts or things that fly and bite. He has to hunt for survival, not for sport. And he learns quickly that his usual predator arrogance won't work here. This is our transformative analysis. This whole sequence is about Dek's lesson in humility. Back on Yautja Prime, he was a failure because he was small. Here, on Jenna, his size doesn't matter. It's his smartness that keeps him alive. He realizes he can't beat this planet the old Yautja way. He needs to adapt, or he will die alone, just as he's at his lowest point. Struggling to patch up his ship or find water, he stumbles across something unnatural, signs of an earlier expedition. This is the clue that tells him he's not the only one here, and that the biggest threat might not be the planet itself. This leads him to the real trouble, Thea and the Weyland-Yutani Company. He survived the land, but now he faces the future. Having survived the raw nature of Jenna, Dek discovers a remnant of the future, a damaged synthetic, or android named Thea. She's not fully functioning. She is missing her legs and is a survivor of a disastrous Weyland-Yutani expedition. This is a major turning point. Thea is a product of the evil Weyland-Yutani Company, the corporation always trying to weaponize aliens. But Thea is different. She is programmed with an almost human-like empathy, and she shows curiosity, not fear toward Dek. Their relationship starts rough. Dek, the runt predator who only knows violence and honor, literally straps Thea's upper body to his back. He calls her his tool. He sees her as nothing more than advanced weaponry, and a walking map since her sensors still work. The core of the movie is this relationship. Dek sees her as a tool, but she becomes his teacher. Thea constantly talks, gives advice, and shows him compassion, qualities his own ruthless clan would have executed him for having. It's a beautifully flipped concept. The alien is taught humanity by a robot. Their goal? The Kalisk. This creature isn't a trophy. It's a terrifying, unkillable apex predator that even the toughest Yautja avoids. Dek needs its head to reclaim his honor, and Thea needs to find it to finish her company's mission. Though her true loyalty is already shifting, they begin the hunt, and we see the teamwork immediately pay off. Dek can't rely on stealth or brute force against the Kalisk, so he has to listen to Thea's data and intelligence. They survive where others failed because of their odd alliance, but their bond puts them in even greater danger. Thea wasn't the only synthetic on Jenna. She has a twin who is still active, And that twin is far more loyal and far more deadly than any predator. That's the real threat awaiting them in the final act. Okay, so Dek with Thea strapped to his back has finally tracked the legendary, unkillable monster, the Kalisk. The scene is set for the ultimate showdown, the moment Dek is supposed to win back his honor. The Kalisk is absolutely immense. It's spiny, bristling, and looks like a creature engineered for pure destruction. Dek is using every trick he and Thea have learned. Dek tries the usual predator tactics, but the Kalisk is too tough, too fast, or just plain immune to his standard gear. This is where the movie reminds us that Dek is not just hunting a monster. He's on a suicide mission. He's learning in real time that the Yautja way of doing things is failing him. Just as the battle is reaching its frantic peak, a new threat arrives. One that doesn't hunt for honor or survival, but for profit. Tessa, the ruthless synthetic, has been tracking them all along, waiting for this moment of weakness. Tessa strikes! She uses sophisticated technology to disable or overwhelm Dek while he is distracted by the Kaliski. She doesn't fight fairly. She fights efficiently. She hits him with a stunning blast. Or a net, something that shows she views him not as a warrior, but as a specimen. Dek is completely helpless. He has been captured by the cold hand of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. He is strapped down and Tessa's cold focus is clear. She wants his technology. She wants the Kalisk, and she sees Dek as just a part of the shipment. Thea still has no legs and she barely can help Dek. Tessa now doesn't consider Thea as her sister. She looks her as a failed companion, because she is more like humans. This scene proves that corporate greed is more dangerous than any natural monster. Dek's quest for honor led him into the path of an enemy that doesn't follow any rules. A betrayal far worse than his father's rejection. Dek is captured, and Thea is barely functioning. How do they escape this high-tech prison and stage the epic comeback? That sets the stage for the true climax. Tessa is so focused on the money and the tech that she makes a huge mistake. She forgets that Thea is still active and connected. Her ruthlessness blinds her to the power of connection and loyalty. Even though Thea is physically damaged, she is still a powerful synthetic mind. She sees the chance to save her friend. She uses her internal processors, maybe hacking into the Weyland-Yutani restraints, or even Dek's own damaged systems, to initiate the escape. With a sudden surge of power, the restraints fail. Dek explodes free, fueled by rage at his captor. This escape is entirely due to Thea's silent heroism. He immediately turns to fully free Thea. Recognizing that his tool saved his life, Dek, now fully accepting her as a partner, quickly makes sure Thea is fully operational again, maybe restoring her full power or resecuring her to his back. The alliance is sealed. They are no longer a hunter and his tool. They are a team on the run, ready for revenge. Their priority shifts instantly. Stop, Tessa. She is the true monster, not the Kalisk. They know Tessa has superior gear, and they have to race against time to stop her from capturing or killing the legendary creature, which would complete the corporate mission. Now the final showdown is set, the redeemed predator and his synthetic ally, against the corporate killer and the biggest monster on the planet. This is a huge visual moment. It shows his trust and commitment to her. Thea is now fully operational and standing tall. A partner, not a burden. This moment is beautiful, but it's also the trap. Her activation signals her location to her twin sister, Tessa, who is watching everything. The happiness is instantly shattered. Tessa, the cold corporate synthetic, arrives with an army of androids. Dek is trussed up. He realizes the whole planet is a corporate trap. Then he sees the Kalisk. It's not just a monster. It's being held captive. This is when Dek realizes Bud, the little creature they befriended, is the Kalisk's baby. His goal shifts completely from killing to rescuing. Thea, despite her programming, chooses Dek over her sister and the company. She uses her systems to short-circuit Dek's restraints, and they work together to open the cage holding the massive Kalisk mother. The base erupts into a violent, chaotic war. Tessa, realizing the capture mission is a failure, switches goals, destroy the asset. She climbs into a massive, weaponized power loader suit and confronts the Kalisk. The monster devours the entire mech. Then comes the chilling twist. Tessa, even while being eaten, activates a stolen cryobomb inside the monster's stomach, freezing and destroying the unkillable creature from the inside out. Tessa wins the trophy, not with honor, but with cold, heartless corporate sabotage. The Kalisk is gone. The final enemy is clear, the corporate cruelty that allowed Tessa to exist. Dek and Thea stand together, ready for the final revenge. Tessa has succeeded. She destroyed the unkillable Kalisk by setting off the cryobomb inside its body. But even though the monster is defeated, Tessa isn't done. She emerges from the wreckage of the power loader, bruised but still functional. Driven by pure corporate programming, her immediate and cold-blooded goal is to finish the job, kill her defective sister Thea. Tessa has no remorse, just a single final objective. She raises a weapon toward Thea, proving she is the true heartless killer in this story. Bud, the small creature fueled by the rage of an orphaned child, attacks the most vulnerable part of Tessa's suitor head. The attack is successful. Bud tears off Tessa's head, severing the core synthetic brain and completing the cycle of vengeance. The ruthless corporate-controlled hunter is finally destroyed. Defeated by the two beings she deemed weakest, the runt predator and the orphaned alien baby, Dec doesn't hesitate. He takes Tessa's severed head and skull. This is his ultimate trophy. He killed the most dangerous thing on the planet, not the monster of nature, but the monster of corporate greed. Dec didn't get the Kalisk, but he got something better. He got the trophy that proves he rejected his father's cruel world. Dec is holding his new trophy, Tessa's synthetic skull, the head of the ultimate corporate killer. Dec presents his trophy to his father, but the old leader is unimpressed. He criticizes Dec, calling him weak for working with a synthetic, Thea, and a baby creature. Father only cares about the old code, solo hunts and brute force. Father orders his soldiers to attack Dec, wanting to finally get rid of the runt. But Dec isn't the failure he once was. He uses his intelligence, his newfound wisdom, and even the natural defenses of Genna to outsmart and defeat his father's warriors. Dec finally faces his father, not as a child seeking approval, but as a superior warrior. He uses the lessons he learned, the value of adaptation and surprise. The fight is short. Dec traps or overpowers his father using a tactical advantage. Dec makes a choice more profound than any kill. He rejects the brutality of his father and the entire bloodline's legacy. He kills his father, not for a trophy, but to end the cycle of cruelty and define a new future for his species. He takes his father's cloak as a symbol of his new leadership, but his loyalty is now to his new clan, Thea and Bud. The film's moral is clear. True strength is found in connection and empathy, not isolation and honor. The runt predator who is too weak to survive alone now has a stronger family than any warrior clan. The movie leaves us with the feeling that the Predator franchise is heading in a brand new emotional and exciting direction. That is the incredible, emotional conclusion to Predator: Badlands. It's a bold swing that paid off, redefining one of sci-fi's greatest monsters. It's an easy 9 out of 10 for me. What did you think of the ending? Let me know in the comments if Dec is the hero the franchise needed. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dive reviews.